Are you moving out of state? Don't make the same mistakes I made. Today, I'm going to give you 7 tips on moving out of state. Hi, my name is DeLin Soileau. Welcome to my channel. In this video, we are going to talk about how to avoid mistakes when moving out of state. My hope is to help your move go as smoothly as possible. So I am originally a native from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. My husband and I moved across the country to Blacksburg, Virginia, and then again from Blacksburg, Virginia to Fort Worth, Texas. So let's just dive right in, shall we? Okay, so tip 1, have a parts box. This is one of the most valuable tips I have ever gotten, let me tell you. The parts box is going to be the last thing you put on the moving truck and the very first thing to come off. In this box, you will have screwdrivers, Allen wrenches, anything that you will need for disassembling furniture, and then again to reassemble. Because when you arrive at your new house, one of the very first things that you're going to want to do is to put the bed together. So put all the screws that were involved when you took the bed apart in a Ziploc bag. Label it, which bed it goes to, and have the tools needed to reassemble it along the way. When you get to your new home or rental, you're going to want to take this parts box, put it in the middle of the kitchen on the counter, anywhere that is super easy to find. As those pieces of furniture come in the house, you're able to start assembling them. Obviously, be realistic. You know that you're not going to get the house put together all in one day, but at least you will get the most important things like your beds and maybe a couple chairs and maybe the table. So you have somewhere to eat, and of course, the most important item, the TV. We cannot live without the TV, at least I know I can't. Also, in the parts box, you're going to want to have toilet paper, paper towels, maybe some Windex, all-purpose cleaner, something so that you can wipe out the kitchen cabinets and the drawers before you put all your stuff in there. Because even if that person that moved out left it, pretty clean, it's going to get dusty and, you may just want to freshen it up a bit. Okay, let's move on to tip number 2. Plan your move as soon as you can, just in case a lot of people are moving during the same time that you are. You are going to want to make sure that you are able to reserve a moving truck or a moving company. They are definitely times of the year that they get really busy. But as soon as you find out that you are indeed moving, I would go ahead and get that all set up immediately. Tip number 3, temporary storage. You have likely heard of pods before. I think U-Haul may even make their own version of a pod. Basically, a pod is a big giant container, if you will, that gets delivered to your driveway or the front of your house. And basically, you load it up with all of your things. They come and pick the container up and take it away to their storage facility. There are several pod storage locations here in Fort Worth, Texas. So if you're moving here and you're not quite ready to put all your things in your house yet, put it in a pod container. You may want a pod if you don't close on your house for a couple weeks, or perhaps maybe you are getting new carpet or painting and you're not ready for the furniture yet. This would be a great solution for you. Tip 4, make sure you get all of the utilities turned on before you move into the house. There is nothing worse, and I speak from experience, than showing up at your new house or rental. You're tired, you're sweaty, and you probably stink, only to discover you don't have running water or electricity. So when you are moving, whether it's buying or renting, find out from the landlord or from the previous sellers or even your agent who you need to contact in order to get these utilities put in your name prior to your arrival. Tip 5, Research your moving company. I learned a little lesson on this through personal experience. When my family and I moved from Louisiana to Virginia, even though my husband's employer was actually going to reimburse us for the cost of the moving, we did not really do any researching or investigating on the company we chose. It started off smoothly. The moving people showed up, packed up our things, which seemed like they were kind of in a hurry. But what do I know? This was a first for me. Now, the kicker here is that somewhere along the way between Louisiana and Virginia, they switched moving trucks. Yep, everything that got put into the original moving truck was then reloaded onto another truck. And by put, I mean thrown. I'll never forget the mover on the Virginia side. When he opened that back of the door of the truck, his mouth dropped and I was scared to look. It looked like a hurricane had come through there. No kidding. He said he had never seen anything quite like it. And yes, you better believe there were damaged items that had to be thrown away or replace, which they did cover, but it definitely caused a lot of headache and hassle. So you should do a little homework, maybe even spend a little more money, but get a good moving company. Perhaps you could save a little money by doing your own packing, buying your own supplies like boxes, tapes, things like that. It would be something you might want to look into. Tip 6, if you are buying a house in one state and selling a house in a different state, how do you do that? What are the logistics of making that happen? You can actually do this on the same day. However, that normally works better if you are buying and selling a home in the same area. If you are doing it out of state, I would recommend allowing a little more time. Perhaps maybe you close on the sale of your current home on a Tuesday, and then you close on the purchase of your new home on a Thursday or even Friday. I recommend allowing yourself maybe a couple days just because you never know if a delay could happen. Now, you don't want to be homeless, of course. So make arrangements. Maybe stay in a hotel, a relative, or a friend. And if you have animals, oh well, that might even add just a little bit more preparation. I know moving with pets can make things a little more difficult, so you're gonna want to plan ahead for that as well. Okay, tip number 7, have a yard sale before you move. I don't know why I didn't learn this lesson the first time, but let me tell you, I packed that stuff up, move it across the country, and after paying to have it moved, then decide, oh yeah, I don't really actually need this, nor do I have a place to put it. I quickly find myself needing to have a garage sale, and those are actually a lot of work. So do yourself a favor in advance. Sometimes things are just so heavy, it costs less to leave it behind and just buy a new one than it does to pay to have it moved. Things like pool table, piano, a big chunky dining room table, these things are expensive to move, and you do not want to move it unless you have to. So these are my 7 tips for moving out of state with as little hassle as possible.